Spring 2023 was super hype. It gave us a bit of everything. We had returning shows that everyone loves and knew would be good, like Demon Slayer, Dr. Stone, and Witch from Mercury. But it also gave us new shows that just rose into the spotlight, like Oshinoko, Heavenly Delusion, and the heartwarming Skip and Loafer. However, summer 2023 is on track to be hot. If you remember fall of 2022 and the lineup, it had Bleach, Mob Psycho, Blue Lock, and Chainsaw Man. But for summer 2023, even if it doesn't surpass that season, it's set to be at least a close second in recent memory.
Now, apart from popular anime that are going to air like Mushoku Tensei, JJK, and Bleach, I wanted to cover the more quiet or newer ones. But before that, is this the Rent-a-Girlfriend season that is going to make everyone mad again? I'm not sure, I haven't seen season 2 nor read the manga, so if it is, let me know so I at least have more context now. And I need someone to confirm if Link Click is actually going to air this season or not. I can't find an episode count or even what the season is going to be about. Last time we saw Baki, he actually beat Biscuit Oliver sometime after he fought a praying mantis that wasn't real but could deal real damage. Oh wait, was that even last season? So much stuff happens in Baki that it's hard to keep track. I do know for sure that the season ended with us seeing someone frozen in mid-combat versus a dinosaur, so that's sure to be insane. Netflix still has the rights to Baki and it's going to be split into 2 parts. First part is the tale of Pickle and the Pickle War saga, and the second is the father vs son saga. I hope there's more seasons after this because Baki is the kind of show that's great the longer it goes on because the creator can think up some crazy shits like Jojo. Zone 100 is about Akira, who started his life after school as a bubbly young man who was eager to start making a change at his new company. And on his first day he loved the atmosphere and his new sexy coworker, but as the hours went by he realized it's a company that operates like a sweatshop and that he could hardly go home to get rest. But the saving grace was the sexy coworker. But even that bubble popped when he found his ugly bastard chairman was plowing her in the storage room next to his desk. Now Akira is at a point where he feels the zombie shows he watches depict a better life than his. Fast forward one day about 3 years later, and he wakes up to find out he's in a zombie apocalypse. But somehow he's never been more happy. It's like the thought of not having to work just makes even the dead bodies around him enjoyable, and he's now gonna check off his bucket list. It's honestly a fun story that seems to be the opposite of every apocalyptic story. Plus, he got to see some titty for his trouble. Spy Classroom was an anime that kinda hurt me in the winter 2023 season. It started off so well. We had these outcast girls who had to take on an impossible mission, and the teacher was this aloof dude who said that if they were able to best him once, they would be classified as world-class spies. But then by episode 2 or 3 they finished the impossible mission and the rest of the episodes were flashbacks covering each of the characters. I don't know, it felt like a big letdown, however with season 2 coming out this season, I hope there's going to be a more interesting premise. Liar Liar is a new adaptation of a light novel full of waifus and an unusually smart MC that they all fawn over. Now I said this without actually knowing what it was about, and after reading a few chapters of the manga, it seems that this MC is a fraud. He's the biggest fraud there is.
I'm a billionaire.
So the way the stuff works is that the students are ranked based off stars, and the absolute best student is a 7-star student, and there's only one of them. Now this MC is a new student who barely passed the entrance exam, and by some shenanigans he gets challenged to a battle by the 7-star student. Now, if you had to guess what challenge she chose as the best student in the entire elite school, what do you think it would be? She chose a staring contest. The best student picked a staring contest where if your facial expression changes, you lose. Now for some context, when she challenged him and they started fighting, they were alone in the area, but like I mentioned, she's the top student, so naturally a crowd started gathering, so where before she didn't care much about the water leaking on her body, when people started to show up, she got conscious and couldn't really attack properly because she thought her clothes and stuff were see-through, so she eventually blushed and lost. That's how he became the top student. Apparently this story is going to be a romantic comedy, but it just seems like harem bait, and in 4 chapters I've not seen another guy. However, his teacher or director is hotter than Aya Nokoji's teacher, so I kinda like that. And I'm just hoping it's actually going to be funny as the story goes on. Eminence and Shadow last season taught me to not judge a show too harshly. So this time we have a dude who's on a mission for revenge against the family that killed his mother, But after meeting a samurai girl, he starts to get intrigued by her while at the same time making new friends that would make focusing on his mission difficult. But apparently with all this going on, the school always has people dying every year, so there's also that to think about. I think this show is going to go in a very cliche direction, but if it does, I would hope it at least embraces it and doesn't take itself too seriously. Reborn as a vending machine is the one I'm honestly looking forward to the most this season because I want to see what they were thinking and what they can do with such a premise. A few seasons back, we had reincarnated as a sword, and it was pretty heavy on the sword being the secondary protagonist, so I wonder if that's going to be the same thing that would happen here. Now, would this vending machine be OP in the sense that it never runs out of drinks, or is it one of those Japanese vending machines with pizza or ramen? Now, some of the shows aren't going to get full-blown seasons, but just 1 or 2 special episodes. Like Fate's Strange Fake Whispers of Dawn is the newest anime in the Fate franchise, but it's just one OVA that just got a full-blown anime announcement at Anime Expo. And it's a story that was created as sort of an April Fool's gig in 2008, and it takes place in the USA following the progress of a false Holy Grail war. Someone or something tried to copy the ritual and have passed, so it led to all the rules of the war being bent. It got so messed up that there's not even a saber class anymore, and there are summoning issues because the definition of hero is no longer clearly defined. For example, one of the summonings was Jack the Ripper. Now I don't know if you've heard of him in London Tales or not, but the name should be a dead giveaway. I can't wait to see how this episode goes and what the anime has in store, but it better be movie length because this premise is too good to be short. Apart from these though, Bungo Stray Dogs, Masamune-kun, Devil is a Part-Timer, and Rurouni Kenshin are all airing as well. Devil is a Part-Timer had the biggest fall off I've ever seen, and you better become Luffy if you're going to watch the Kenshin anime. But just like with Winter, I'm sure there's going to be some hidden gems, so I'm really looking forward to the shows that we're going to discover and the ones people are going to drop. Don't forget to sub if you made it this far, and I'll see you in the next one.